Hello and welcome back to another session of Creating Art Over 70, the Survivor Pastel painting. Um, let's just get right to it. Thank you all so much for watching. Signed, Rufus. Okay, yes, not saying a lot in this painting, trying to get it done. Those antibiotics I've been taking, like really taking a toll. I didn't do a thing yesterday to try to just relax. Yeah, but I really still felt like painting, even though all these antibiotics got me. I think I've taken enough of my. I know I'm supposed to deplete the bottle, but I just the side effects from this particular prescription of antibiotics is really hard on me. I guess the thing is, when we reach a certain age, I guess it takes a little longer for us to heal, and sometimes I don't know, it seems like the prescriptions are harder for some reason. Thing about it, when I'm not feeling well, it's a little tougher for me to find that flow. I'm really trying to take my time with the piece right now. So bear with me. I'll try to get that flow out. But I'm trying to focus on the lighting, get my lighting and my shadows correct the best I can. Yeah, I've been really thinking a lot about my next piece. I was thinking I wanted to do a charcoal piece. So I had put together I sketched out a little composition that I wanted to do. Oops. And I was sharing it with my wife. I said, okay, baby, like this is what I think I want to do next. Like, what do you think about this? I said, I want to do this in charcoal. She goes, no, that one should be in pastel. I said, okay. So I shifted gears, and so I'm gonna think about a little later. I'm gonna think about something else that I'm gonna be able to do in charcoal, because I would like to do a charcoal piece next. So since I'm shifting gears, I'm not sure what the charcoal piece is gonna be yet. Still, I might do another little cat piece in charcoal. Maybe that'll work. I'm gonna take a look at it when I take a break from this to see where I am. I like to work on those charcoal pieces in between, or work on charcoal pieces, I should say, because it helps me with keeping my tones and values kind of strong. I think anyway, because that's all it is tones and values, because we're working with black and white. Maybe not literally black and white, but the black and white scale or grayscale. One thing you should be able to notice is how when you're working with pastels on the pastel mat paper, and it has enough, how you have the ability to layer the lighter colors over the darker colors. Yeah. The real challenge during the layering process is to be able to know where you're going with respect to the colors you're laying. And so for me, I try to stay within that same color selection. So I'm only working with its values as far as the pastels, the pan pastels. I'm working with its values of shading and tint, and darker and lighter saturations of the pigment color. I had, while I was sitting around, I had sketched some other versions of a Survivor theme, but I settled on this one. I don't know, maybe later might do one specifically in Illustrator, because the theme I was thinking about, well, no, it's doable. It's doable in pastels and painting. I was just thinking. Still feeling not 100% today. A little groggy, I guess. I don't know. I thought I slept well. I had a lot of sleep, because yesterday not only did I take a nap, but I kind of went to bed relatively early. Well, I should say relatively early with respect to how the time I usually go to bed. But I really felt like I needed the rest, and it probably didn't help. Like the day before, day before I stayed up kind of late, and that's not good. I don't know. For some reason, I felt like I wanted to watch a little bit of the TV, and I was watching this limited series, and I like this. I just like to see the end of things, and so I was kind of caught up in that limited series, watching it to see what happened. I didn't finish it though. I didn't finish it until yesterday. I tried to watch it, finished it yesterday. It was only so many minutes left to it, so it wasn't like I had a lot of it to watch. It was a pretty interesting series, and it ended with a really, you could see that the person, the character that was really the culprit, you could kind of tell that they had something to do with what was going on in the story, a little more direct than what they were implying at first. And so, the ending wasn't like a total surprise. Like, oh wow, I never saw that coming. Kind of like I was waiting for them to put it together a little bit more with respect to the character that I'm talking about. It was cool. I enjoyed it. It was very, very entertaining. So, and I finished the book I was listening to, the audio book also. So I took it easy yesterday and tried to let whatever is going on take its course, run its course. So today I'm back in front of the painting, trying to get it closer to where I want it to be. And I'm just going to be layering. I'm going to work on really layering in the lights and the shadows, because I started laying in the glow, and so I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to it a little more detailed in this session. I'm gonna try, depending on how much time I spend in front of the piece here. I want to take a little short break here with the piece. Just a little update here. I'm really heavily laying in the survivor today because I want the glow. I'm laying in the glow. This is going to be a glow. I hope it works, but that's the foundation for what I'm trying to achieve. I think I may just leave the ribbon alone without a glow. I think that might be overkill. And plus, I like the way the ribbon is working right now, and so the ribbon I think could just be its own entity because it is kind of like the focal point of the piece, just to some degree. If you remember, if you look at the if you take a little look at the little golden ratio there, you'll see inside the golden ratio there that the 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 ribbon is the pivot point inside of the little ratio there. So that's what I'm going to work on. I think I'm going to leave that alone. I'm gonna run it by. I like to run by my thoughts and what I'm doing with my wife because she really has some incredible input, and she's like sees things that I don't see because she's looking at it with a different eye, and not the eye that's trying to create it. Because with the eye that's when you're using the eyes that you're trying to create with, you have a tendency to see stuff, and then you have a tendency to overlook stuff. And so when you bring in fresh eyes to look at the piece, then they're looking at it from a different perspective than you are as the creator or as the painter. So what they see can be very, very helpful to not only catch and correct some of the stuff that you miss, but give you a different perspective. And sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, and then it kind of changes the direction of the the flow that I'm going at that particular time. So it's always good, I think, to get have an extra set of eyes look at a piece that you create and just to give you their feedback. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, I'm gonna take a short break here, get something to drink. I think my water is good, but I think I need some juice or something like that. I want to have, and then I'll continue on with this. I think when I come back, I'm gonna focus a little bit more on the survivor glow, because I think that's the meat of what I have to finish with this piece. Once I get the glow in, it's pretty much there, because in the sail part, I worked in a lot of the lighting and the detail, which is the lighting that's coming from the survivor and the ribbon. We're just gonna look at it like that. And since I'm not putting the glow in it, we're just gonna just illuminate more of this side with the survivor, maybe little bitty hints of velvety color in there, or maybe some magenta, some more of the magenta. I'm not sure yet. I might just leave it alone and just have it illuminate and just give the survivor a glow. Because, I mean, the piece is working. I think it's really telling the story right now. So I just want to refine some of the detail in it so the contrast will pop out. And that's what I was doing in the cell. Down in this area, was trying to refine some more of the detail and some of the contrast, and so you can actually start to see the shapes instead of it being so washed out and so in the background. I want it to be visible a little bit more to some degree, but at the same time not take away from the rest of the piece. So I don't want the viewer's eyes to go like, oh, this is interesting in here. Yeah, but I want, when you look at the piece, what I'm hoping will catch the eyes first is the survivor and the ribbon. So that's the gist of it. And that's why I use the the little ratio here, and so that little part where the ribbon is, that is supposed to be the part. That's the part where the eye should go first in any piece that you're doing if you're using the ratio, which is the focal point of the piece. So yeah, I think I got the shadowing in well enough for this piece. I don't want to push it too much further. It's saying the story, and I don't need it to be as photorealistic as like a portrait of anything, because this is just a painting that I'm hoping with what I have I can transfer it from to a t-shirt. I'm hoping that process is still unknown to me. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm gonna give it a go. And as far as the lettering in the Survivor, I'm just really trying to paint it in. So there's minimal consistency to it. Every letter is not the same. Like the V's are not the same. The R's are not the same. It's just going to be a totally hand painted piece. That's what I want to represent. A totally hand painted piece. No particular font being represented here. Just letters that are painted on the piece. Okay, so I think I said a lot to try to bring you up, because I wasn't really talking through the piece. I was focusing, and with my energy level today, I needed to focus and try to get as much of the refined detail in as I possibly could in this particular session. Okay, so let me take a break. Creating Art Over 70, the Survivor Painting with Rufus. Be back shortly. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, welcome back. Creating Art Over 70, the Survivor Painting. Just getting back off a break. Let's get right to it. Thanks for watching. Hey, I got another beautiful day outside. These antibiotics kind of give you like a slight headache also. So man, this particular subscription of antibiotics seems to be much stronger with heavier side effects. I like the side effects on this stuff, that's for sure. I think the good combination of colors, the violets and the magenta, were relatively well together. That's what I would be using to try to establish the glow effect, because the gist of the text of the word survivor, the original concept I was trying to present is the energy, the violet color represents the energy, and so I need to make sure I incorporate that in the glow effect somehow. And so I will be trying to get that in and see how well I could do with that. I might be cutting this session a little shorter because I'm really trying to hang in there, y'all. But just I think maybe I'll take another little break shortly and eat something. Maybe I just need to eat something else. I had breakfast this morning, which was pretty good, but I think I might need to eat a little more, so I'll make sure that it's not just I'm a little hungry type of a headache. Hungry like you need to eat type of a headache. And it's all about the layering, the layering to get the effects. On the next piece, I think I am gonna do a charcoal piece. I want to work on the composition more. I think I'm coming in a little loose with it with respect to my pieces. I want to tighten that up. So I've been going back, kind of reviewing the statements, what it is, the statement, what am I trying to say, what is the actual mood of the piece, what is the narrative, those type of things. I have a list of questions. So normally, before I start the piece, I try to ask myself, before I sit down and start putting anything down, just a few questions I ask myself, especially, what is the narrative, like respect to this one, the narrative is, the story is the survivor, and so that's the narrative. However, I'm trying to display a mood with respect to the illuminating the word with respect and adding an additional type of a glow to it. It's trying to set the mood, energetic mood, energetic. So striving for that. And so as I lay in the layers, that's what I have in mind. The narrative is energy. There's a lot of energy involved or utilized to survive. And so I think that's a key portion of the narrative is to show that energy. Going forward, I even may not interject, but utilize a scratch paper. I guess that's a good term for it, a scratch sheet, so that I can practice laying down the colors. The only thing is with that is what would the color of the scratch paper be? I would have to have it pretty close to the color that I'm working on, paper that I'm working on, in order to get a true representation of how it blends. I've also been thinking about a different recording format that I think may work a little better for understanding the workflow and what's going on, because I'm trying to solve the issue with not being able to speak on specifically what I'm doing at that particular moment, because I need to put in the time elapsed, so I can't really speak on what I'm doing at any given point in time. So I don't know, I've been thinking about that heavily. What I'm gonna try, I think I'll do it in the next piece, so I could do it from start to finish instead of trying to incorporate it in this session, because I really want to share my process, my workflow, what it is I'm doing, what it is I'm thinking, and really the reason I chose to use a particular brush, the shaper tool, those type of things. I want to share that, and so in order to share that, I would have to be able to kind of talk at specific moments of the painting process, and so I've been trying to work that through. So what I'm thinking about doing is to do the same as I do when I'm stopping or taking a break, but more frequently maybe. What I'm saying is to explain as I go, but just stop the video, stop the painting process for a second, and explain what it is I'm doing in that painting process, and then continue on. For example, when I'm laying in the initial like foundation, I could talk about what I'm getting ready to do, and then before I move on to the next section, even if it's foundation, stop and or record what just took place. So I'm hoping that I can implement that in the workflow, and I'm gonna see how it does when I get into the next piece. So what I'm gonna do in this survivor text here is I'm going to layer as much as I can, and then hopefully I could start to blend in order to get the glow effect. Hopefully it works out. Yeah, when I was deciding on what to do, I had put together 3 different concepts for this pastel piece, and then we just selected this one over all the other 2. But while painting this piece, I was doing some sketches of some other ideas I had. But then I laid that down, like I made the selection. So I don't know if I was doing it for maybe potential future ones or. So anyway, on the next charcoal piece, I was really thinking about doing a foresty lake scene. something like that maybe inside of a charcoal piece. Because I know, and I see from my pieces, I need to strengthen my composition, and I need to adhere more to fundamentals. I'm working as much as I can with the pan pastels, trying to get them blended in. So when I go in to try to tighten up the glow, I understand now that this is still trial and and error. I use trial and error because that's what I use. And coming from my background in IT, we always talk in the context of zeros and ones with respect to it is, on or off type of scenario. So I'm experimenting and understand it may not work, but we're going to give it our best. Well, we're going to give it a shot. To try to get it there. Yeah, I could see it. My approach to trying to get the glow effect in is going to be. I've been saying it. Layering is one thing. So I got to really get the layers in. I'll be layering the different tonal values on top of each other, so it may have the appearance that I'm, covering up, recovering up, going back, blah blah blah. But what I'm trying to do is get a mixture of the tonal values. And that's the beauty about this, the pastel matte. Okay, really fast. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to continue layering in the glow effect. However, what I want to keep in mind is when I'm layering this in, I still want to maintain that depth. And so early on, I went and I brought the painting up a little higher here. I had the little something going on there, which wasn't really necessary. So I kind of framed it out a little better, and so I can, when I bring in the glowing effect, this is the idea. This is what I'm trying to do. Is I want to maintain that depth. So in order to maintain the depth and get the glow, I need to make sure that the background portion of the composition is darker, so you can see that it is a glow. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to blend in the colors, layer the colors, and then also keep that depth. I could have. I probably could have. I probably could do this a number of different ways with respect to the glow effect. But I want. I think I want to see more separation between the word survivor and the actual background itself in a depth of field. I just want to see, I think I want to see more separation. So that's why I'm going to go in. I think I want to go in. Tighter with the pencils and still maintaining that blend. of the glow in the background to show depth, showing the depth. So. Okay, yeah. See, I'm still trying to push the background, so that's what you see me laying in here, so I can keep that depth. And as I look at it now, I can see I'm beginning to keep that depth going, and so I haven't washed it out to where the perception is going into the paper is still there, and that's what I'm trying to maintain here, because I want that glow to glow, but I need it to be look like it's overlaying the background is what I'm trying to attempt here. Actually, since I've been working this paint, that little break I took for a second, I'm starting to I will be bringing in some pencils later on, um, to try to refine the detail a little more. Just a little bit in the I think when I do deeper planning, I'll have a better idea of the time scale also, because I didn't entering entering into this piece, I didn't really, I didn't even imagine that it would have so much complexity. I'm just using the word complexity, to describe time involved, I think, because I am trying to accomplish a lot with this piece. I'm trying to accomplish depth of field, illuminating glow, um, and still keep it all in proportion and perspective. So I think in the next session, I'm not going to work as heavily with the brushes. I just love working, I just love painting and working with the brushes to get the piece as far as I can with just the brushes. I just enjoy it. So if I bring in some pencils, I'm sure I can refine the detail quite a bit more. And also, it may speed up the process a little bit, even though the lead covers a smaller portion of the paper when you're putting it down. I still think we'll be able to do a little bit more with them. We're certainly going to give it a try and find out. Creating art over 70. Painting with passion. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here in this section. So what I've been doing is I've been really trying to bring in a Survivor glow effect. It looks like it's gonna start coming. I'm not sure if it's gonna actually get there because the depth. I gotta try to maintain the depth. I gotta make sure it's darker. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna step away from the painting, and I'm gonna take a really good look at it and see what direction I want to go. Yes, I think I'm not gonna put no glow on the ribbon. I'm gonna leave the ribbon alone. I was fighting or struggling to get to this particular pink that I have here, and so I don't really. I think I just don't want to mess with it anymore with respect to that, because I got it to a pink that's pretty close to the actual pink that I need for the breast cancer ribbon. So what I will do with the ribbon, however, is tighten up some of the detail in it, meaning some of the edges. I'm going to tighten up some of the edges, and where you can see maybe a hint of what looks like fabric lace. Some of the texture part I'll be working on, try to get a little bit more texture in it. And then I'll go from there and see where it's at. I think I'm going to leave the cancer cell alone now. I think I've gotten it to the point to where I'm happy with it. So I think I'm going to leave that alone and just really just, for the remainder of the piece, concentrate heavily on the Survivor text itself. And then take a look at it from there. And then I might do some little refined things that I may see when I take a look at it. As I look at it right now, there's not really much I would want to do to it. The detail is in place now, even in the underlaying areas of the cancer cell where the shadows would hit it more. The detail is still legible. It's not washed out. So that's what I want to accomplish. And even with that detail there, you can still see the form and the overall shape of the cancer cell itself. And that's what I wanted to accomplish. So I think I've got that to where I want it to be. So I'm probably going to leave it alone. I might tighten up some of the areas, meaning clean up some of the fuzzy stuff that's left over from when you're doing the painting with the pastels, and use the shaper tool, come in and knock out some of that. So we have a cleaner edge per se with respect to some of the outlining areas. I don't know what to call these things. I will almost call them legs, and I just call them offshoots of the main cancer cell body, for lack of the actual term, with respect to this piece. So I'm going to stop the piece here and take a break for the rest of the day, do something else. Okay, so always pause, take that moment to make sure that I've covered everything I wanted to say about the piece. So I think I've covered it, and we're going to stop it here. Creating art over 70, the Survivor pastel painting with Rufus. Painting with passion. Thank you so much for watching. Blessings. See you in the next session.